Anta Chakvalesu Atra Gacchantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Saggamokkadang Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Dhamma Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Sabbe Sankhara Anicca Yada Panyaya Passati Atha Nibbindati Dukkhe Esamaggo Visuddhiya Sabbe Sankhara Dukkhati Yada Panyaya Passati Atha Nibbindati Dukkhe Esamaggo Visuddhiya Sabbe Dhamma Anattati Yada Panyaya Passati Atha Nibbindati Dukkhe Esamaggo Visuddhiyati. Good evening, everyone. Today's subject that I took for the Dhamma talk was from Dhammapada. The three verses that are very important and very popular among Buddhists, especially young monks like us, when we were young. Today's topic that was given to me is a very, very important topic. It is Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta is the topic. But in Buddhism we call Tilakkana. Ti means three, Lakkana means characteristics. Three characteristics of existence can be three characteristics of the universe, three characteristics of the reality, when we understand reality. So, Buddha found that once you have a good understanding of the actual nature of things, we become disinterested in what we experience in the world through our senses. We become dispassionate of what we experience, and that leads to ultimate freedom from all bondages and all suffering. When we see the world with our regular eye, this our normal eye, common people is asutava putujjana, unlearned common folks like us, unlearned of what? Unlearned of Dhamma, unlearned common folks, village folks they call it, Gamika Purisa. That means unsophisticated people who has no knowledge of what the Dhamma is, what the reality is. So we have the tendency to take things distortedly, upside down from what it really is. What is the word for what things really are? It's called yatha bhuta. Things as they really are. People like common people, unlearned people who has no knowledge of Dhamma. Dhamma is not something that you just learn. You learn and practice, and by practicing you confirm what you learn for yourself, right? Without that confirmation, like science subject, when you learn science subject, you study in the theory class for some extent, and then you have to go to the lab class and test everything that you learn in the theory class, and then you see for yourself, right? See for yourself. That is how it works. How it works is Dhamma, right? So Buddhism, the Dhamma, it's also not something that you learn from the book. You just read and think and then get a good idea, but that's a very good thing, huh? Even if you learn the Dharma but not practice, still it's a valuable thing, because you have the knowledge in the back of your mind, and when you live your life, that knowledge is going to help you and protect you from trouble. So therefore, just even the learning itself is enough, but that is not how the Dharma is learned. Dharma is learned through theory and practice, right? So when we look at the world as common people, the Buddha has said, vipallasa gahana. Vipallasa can distortedly, upside down. This is what it is, but when we see it something totally differently from Anicca niccanti. When in the real world things are impermanent, people like us see it as permanent, and we hold on to it, and we get attached to it, and because of that holding on to something that is really not there, then you get into disruption and dissatisfaction and fear and frustration and suffering and all that, because you hold on to think something that is really not what you think, right? So that is chitta vipallasa. Anicca niccanti chitta vipallasa. So emotionally take it distortedly. Chitta vipallasa. Ditti vipallasa, your view about this. We always have a view, means our own opinion, right? That's my view. So my view is the way I see. Where you see is different. So, ditti vipallasa, we see things distortedly. Sanya vipallasa, we perceive things distortedly and not as it is really is. So, anicca niccanti sanya vipallaso ditti vipallaso chitta vipallaso sanya vipallaso, right? Then asubhe subanti. Asubha is in the sutra, in this particular quotation, Buddha used the word asubha as opposed to dukkha. Asubha means something that is totally unpleasant and harmful and repulsive. Technical meaning of the word repulsive. And we greedily hold on to it without knowing that this is so repulsive and make you, at some point, make you so disgusted, right? So that is how asubha means. Dukkha is the same thing. Then anattani attati, when there is no real self, no real I, no real me, no real mind, right? Nameso eso mama, this is mine. Eso me atta, this is myself, this I am, you know. Eso mama, eso, what is it? Eso, eso mama, eso aham, this is me, right? So we take it like that. So self, this is myself and this is I am, and when I say this is I am, then if you be nice to me, you are nice to me, and therefore I like you, or you insulted me, and therefore I'm mad at you, I don't like you. Or when you look at this is me, I want, for example, the number one thing that I think what me is my body, right? My body is normal people, this is me. I went there. I went there means my body went to someplace, you know. I'm going to sleep, my body is going to sleep. So normally, self is me. And then anything that is belong to me is mine. So if you take this, and I get upset about this because it's belong to me, myself. So that is how common people like us react to things. Now, in the Dhammapada verse, what we heard was Sabbe Sankhara Anicca. Sankhara means anything that is put together, anything that is edited, anything that is causally conditioned, that is called sankhara. What is causally conditioned? When some causes and conditions come together, that is edited, put together. This table is put together with a whole bunch of parts properly put together, and we call it table, right? And my body is put together. Put together means edited. Edited means composed. Composed of what? Composed of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of parts, right? And then even if you go further, the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cells, they come together, then it comes to be like this. My body is conditioned. Conditioned means composed. Composed means put together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my hand. And then with the palm, this is my hand. I see it as my hand. So in the world, under the sun, there is nothing that is not composed, right? Everything in the universe that we can see as human beings are composed, has come together with many different parts, even the sun, even the moon, right? And even the wind, even anything that you can think of has come together. There is nothing that is not edited, not put together. What happens when something is put together? What happens? Something is put together, At some point, it falls apart. Anything in the world fall apart. If that is made of different pieces put together, it falls apart. That is why we get old. That is why we get sick. That is why we die. That is why we become ash when we are burned. That is why we become part of the ground, because these are all parts and particles and all kinds of other chemicals, inside the body, and they come together, fall apart. Anything that is composed, subject to change. That is what the Anicca means, subject to change, impermanent. But if there is something that is in this world that is solid, that will not change. Right? Anything that one thing, even the smallest atom, is composed of protons and neutrons and all that. So even the neutrons, in the end, is like energy, not real. So just like that, anything that is put together is subject to change. Therefore, that's the key. Therefore, we cannot rely on anything for my satisfaction. We cannot lean against anything for my satisfaction. I think when I buy this beautiful car, I'm going to be happy. But I forget that this beautiful car is composed of many different particles. Anything can happen to it. Color might change, scratch, and engine may, dysfunction, and anything can happen. I'm holding on to this because it's so beautiful, including your wife or your husband who is handsome, and then you hold on to it, thinking this is mine, right? And what happened in the end? That beautiful wife that you got married to is gone in few years. Change. Why? It's composed. Everything is composed, so it change. And then you remember the picture when you just fell in love with this person, woman or man, huh? And then you become disgusted. That is Dukkha. You lost your balance. You are in love, and love is gone. Love is also composed, huh? Love is also composed, but we don't want to go there. Anything that you can perceive through your sensory organs are called sankhara. Even if you listen to some music, right? And there are 15 different instruments play at the same time. Music is composed, right? You call it, the composer is this guy, Beethoven, somebody else, right? So, put together, then you hear it, that means it is composed. Anything that you smell is composed. Anything that you can perceive through your sensory organs are called sankhara, right? So that is something. Then, sabbe sankhara anicchati, sabbe sankhara dukkhati. Why? Anything that is not solid, anything that is not reliable, anything that you can lean against for safety and security and joy, right? They change. Then it's not fun anymore. So that is dukkha. Dukkha is created. Sabbe Dhamma Anattati. Sabbe Dhamma Anatta. Now, first say Anicca, Dukkha. Now say, first Buddha said Sabbe Sankhara Anicchati, Sabbe Sankhara Dukkhati, Sabbe Dhamma, Anatta. What is the Dhamma means? Dhamma, not always what the Buddha taught, but it is actually the same thing. Dhamma means, in this particular case, eye can see form, right? Ear can perceive sounds. Tongue can perceive taste, and so on. But mind can perceive Dhamma, objects. Any object that mind can perceive, you can close your eyes and imagine anything that is not yours, that is not something that you can personalize as yours, or me, or I, not self. So in other words, why anything that is constantly changing cannot be self. Self is something that is permanent, ongoing, everlasting thing. But there is no such a thing in me or in anywhere. In the moon, in the sun, in this house, in this chair. There is nothing that is not constantly changing, always permanent. Right? There is a Indian notion of self. I get old. I was born, I grew up, I am getting old, so I am going to die, I got sick. But me inside is always the same. Right? That's what they think. That is what we think too. We normally think, I was born, then I grew up, I went to this school, I went to that school, these were my friends, and then so on and so on, we think. And finally you think, I'm going to die. I am. So that is the notion of I and me, permanent, one thing that does not change. So Buddha saw that there was no such a thing because of this distorted view and distorted grasping. Grasping means holding on to. We hold on to these things with distorted mind, which is totally different from what you really see, what you really fall in love. So therefore, we get into a lot of difficulties. Now, what the Buddha says, Sabbe Dhamma Anatta Thi Yada Panyaya Passati. What is that? Panya means wisdom, direct knowledge, insight. If any one of us see this through direct knowledge, wisdom, I have no reason to fall in love with this or get attached to this or anything that you perceive because it's so disgusting, so unreliable. Don't hold on to something that is unreliable. Right? The person who is falling off a tree, hold on to this branch without knowing that branch is going to be broken. But we, all of us, constantly hold on to things. My job, my position, my reputation, my looks, my property, and we are holding on to. Why? Because we don't have the wisdom. Whoever have the wisdom, do not take it in a wrong way. As a result, this person do not get into difficulties at some point, trouble. and frustration and fears called suffering. Yada panyaya passati ata nibbindati. Nibbindati means don't seek pleasure in all this. This is me, this is mine, I'm so glad I got this job, I got this title, and so now everybody respect me and all that thing. So I married the most beautiful woman, handsome guy and all that. I got the best job. All these thoughts that make you so attached to the world that you are living in, that you call your world, is not your world. Why? Because in wisdom, you can see it's not yours. Therefore, you don't fall in love. Atta nibbindati means become disinterested and disassociated and nibbindati. Dissatisfied with what you have. What is the purpose of all this, And there's no point. I'm thinking so big and I think I'm so important, but this is so subject to change, And my reputation is so good, and one little mistake could make me arrested and put me in jail first thing in the morning you see on the newspaper. And why do you so proud about my good reputation? One little slip. When you are walking on the very thin bridge, it's easy to slip, right? That's what we are doing in our lives. So that is why. Now, there are 3 eyes. Mansa Chakku. Mansa means flesh. Mansa Chakku means fleshly eye. What we see the world is basically the fleshly eye. Fleshly eye always make us look so beautiful, make us see everything is so nice, or make us see certain things are not pleasant, not adorable. You push it away and you pull it away. Mansa Chakku always make certain things appealing or disgusting. That's a regular eye. Most of us, the unlearned common folks are like us, look at the world through Mansa Chakku. There are some people who has practiced meditation for long period of time, continuously and systematically. They develop Dibba Chakku, divine eye. Divine eye always give you the idea, this woman was so beautiful in the 50s, but she's going to be so ugly in 2017. Like we see in the internet, remember? The Sophia Loren in the 50s, 60s, and then Elizabeth Taylor, and now how do they look like? They have all the pictures coming. The fleshly eye cannot do it, but now fleshly eye can do it because of the computer. If you pay attention, computers, the internet is so good. They are getting all the beautiful actors and actresses so good looking, and they put the new pictures so old and so ugly and broken skin and so unpleasant to look at. But does it go to our head? No. It doesn't go to our head. Why? Because we are looking at Mansa Chakku and we still have that distorted view that everything is going to be there. Now, whatever we have now is going to be there forever. My health is good, I'm going to be healthy. See? Yobbana mother. Yobbana mother means I am so young and vigorous and strong and I'm going to be like this forever. And then these young kids laugh at all the older people, and they kind of become disgusted about the older people. Oh, they're so old, but they don't know that they're going to get there. If you have Dibba Chakku, then you can immediately see. Divine eye, if you have divine eye, I'm going to be just like that. In 10 years, 15, 20 years from now, I'm going to be like that. Yobbana mother, Arogya mother, young people have this mother is like conceit. Yobbana means youth, and Arogya means health. Yobbana mother, Arogya mother, there's another one. Ayu, something. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so the Dibba Chakku is the divine eye. If this person uses the divine eye has to use it. It's not always there. Even the Buddha has ability to see things from the past, see things what is going to happen in the future, but he has to activate the divine eye and see. Just because he's walking around and talking to people, he doesn't see that this person is going to die in 15-20 minutes from now. But sometimes if the Buddha sees some signals, this person come and sitting and talking to Buddha, and he knows that this person salute the Buddha after asking this question, and then he's going to go out of the gate, and there will be a cow who is mad, and he's going to attack this person, and he's going to die right by the gate. He sees it only when it is necessary. He just naturally don't see. But if this person's signal coming, the body language and all these things are coming to the Buddha would turn the switch on and see what is going to happen with this person. Okay, I'm going to teach him some verses. One of the verses, Yovada Tampava Romanu Jesu. You learn this and keep reciting, you go, and he didn't say that some bull will attack you and you die right in front of the gate, But Dibba Chakku, if you use the Dibba Chakku, television, internet, correctly used, is divine eye. Information right in the tip of a button, So that is what divine eye means. Then what is the most important thing is the Panya Chakku. There are 3 eyes. One is the regular the fleshly eye, then the divine eye, then the wisdom eye, eye of wisdom. Eye of wisdom. Eye of wisdom is very special. Not that you have to have it 100%. All of us have somewhat wisdom. What the Buddha is telling us is what? Cultivate your eye of wisdom. Cultivate your eye of wisdom. Practice your meditation. Pay attention to what is happening. Then you see things that you normally don't see. Through your own eye of wisdom. Right? So, if you have cultivated the eye of wisdom, you naturally don't hold on to these 2 titles. For example, when the pot was on the stove and it was on, the fire was on for a long time, and then I have seen it burning, do I touch it? No, I saw it was very hot. It will burn me. Right? So then I don't touch it too tightly at once. So what do? I go to the kitchen and find the glove, the thick glove or the towel or something, and then using that you put it together. But if you don't have that, we do it, right? That means we have wisdom. That is why we have wisdom. We have wisdom, this much. But we have to cultivate. When we cultivate, we begin to see things slowly and slowly, that whatever we see in this world is not exactly what they are. We begin to see. And therefore we touch them very lightly. Don't hold on to them too tightly. Your wife, your children, your husband, your property, you don't think this is going to be there forever for you. And if there's an accident, that would be possible, that when you have that notion in the back of your mind, if you have wisdom, you know that this could be total. This car, my car, could be. Therefore, don't be too attached to it. If you are too attached to it, when even somebody scratch it, you feel hurt. Do you want to feel hurt? No. In your life, last thing we want is to feel hurt. My back hurt, my leg hurt, my head hurt. We don't want anything, right? But if my child gets sick, do I get hurt? Yes. If you die or something, my family member, you get really shocked and devastated. If you really love your mother, if you have no interest in your mother and she was getting old and you are waiting for her to die so you can get the property for yourself, and if you are like that, then your mother dies, it doesn't shock you. But if you love your mother, if you are holding on to your mother as your backup person, give me support, give me my mom give me a lot of advice, give me a lot of blessing. She being here is a lot of strength for me, because she's constantly look after me and take care of me. So therefore, you are attached to your mother. In that case, loss of your mother is very devastating, right? So then, okay. Now 3 eyes. Common fleshly eye, then the divine eye, then the eye of wisdom. We have eye of wisdom, all of us for some extent, but we need to cultivate. We need to cultivate. Even the people who are not Buddhist have some kind of wisdom.
Can we equate wisdom with intelligence?
No. Not exactly, but in the circle of, okay, so the overlapping circle, when you put two circles together, intelligence is okay, I tell you what wisdom is, huh? Then you can tell if it is intelligence. If I do this and this and this every day at home, in 5-6 years from now, my wife would divorce me. You can accurately predict, because this is happening. These things are continuously disturbing to my wife and hurting my wife and making her so frustrated, and I keep doing this. In 2 years from now or 3 years from now, she would not be able to take it anymore and she will leave. Cause and effect. That is wisdom. So now you see that if I do this and this and this continuously, I lose my wife. Even my family will be disrespectful to me. That's not what I want. So what I do, wise person, change those little habits. Now, instead of waiting for something bad to happen from 3 years from now. That is wisdom. Right? Cause and effect. And ultimately what is wisdom? What causes my frustration? What are the things that in behind make me sad, frustrated, unhappy, suffer? What are the things that causes that in my mind? That's the ultimate wisdom, right? Ultimate wisdom is causes and conditions of the mind that make my life miserable or make my life happy. What are the causes and conditions, right? And that is ultimate wisdom. But besides that, even the little things. If my brother asked me $5,000 loan. If I give him 5,000 and I know he is not going to return it, so then I get mad at him and our brotherhood is gone in a few years because he would not return. I know he will not return. Therefore, what I do is, he asks 5,000, you give 2,000, thinking if he give me or not, I'm still his brother. Right? I don't break up the relationship. So that is being also intelligence or wise? What do you call it?
Wise.
I would say wise. Yes. So the wisdom is knowing the cause and effect, especially wisdom, the knowing the cause and effect of what makes your life happy or miserable. If that is not related to Dukkha or Sukha, that is not necessarily, that knowledge is not necessarily wisdom. That's what my guess is. Intelligence, can anyone say what is intelligence from your definition? What do you call it? Intelligence. He's a very intelligent fellow, you say that, right? That means he make good decisions, right? Basically, he make good decisions. But always, the people who have wisdom make good decisions in their lives. And as a result, they avoid a lot of frustration and fear for oneself and one's family members, one's own family members, right? So that is wisdom. But intelligence is not necessarily related to your quality of life. Wisdom is directly related to your quality or level of Dukkha and Sukha, right? That is wisdom. So, answer to that question is intelligence partly can be part of wisdom. Because since you are an intelligent person, you could predict this behavior is going to affect me some point very adversely or very positively, either way, right? That may be intelligence too, right? Okay. So, but wisdom is directly related to the knowledge of cause and effect, related to your comfort or discomfort of yourself and people around you. Right? That's what the Buddha cultivated. So ultimately, wisdom is what? Being able to directly see the causes and conditions of your emotions. Causes and conditions of your emotions. Because if there are negative emotions, your life is going to be miserable. If there are positive emotions, your life is going to be happy and joyful. Right? So therefore, wisdom is directly related to how your emotion arise and how your emotions pass away, then you also see none of these emotions I should not take seriously and react to the situation. Because I will see that this emotion is just like something else, arise and, what is the word? Arise and pass away. These emotions arise and pass away. So therefore, I have no reason to react to this situation that make me mad, because it's going to go away. So you don't get angry. That is the ultimate wisdom. When you practice vipassana meditation, you start with breathing, first circle. The second inner circle is what? Kayanupassana, sensations. Third inner circle is Chittanupassana. Chittanupassana means watching your emotions arising and passing away. Then Dhammanupassana, seeing the causes and conditions that create suffering. That means seeing the Four Noble Truths. So if you see Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, actually you are seeing Four Noble Truths. When you say, I understand Four Noble Truths, that also means that you understand something else. What is that? Huh? Exactly. Good answer. That's Bhante Punnaji's disciple. Huh? If you see Four Noble Truths, that also means you see clearly the cause and effect. Paticcasamuppada, how the life come to exist, how the mind come to exist, how the suffering come to exist, how the suffering disappears. Right? And if you see Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, that also means that you see Paticcasamuppada. Without seeing Paticcasamuppada means? Huh? What is it? How do you translate Paticcasamuppada? Dependent origination is acceptable. If you see dependent origination, then only you can see Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. If you see Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, you see dependent origination. If you see any of these things, you see Four Noble Truths, right? Dhamma. So then when you keep going further and further and further in to what you call me or I or mine, it's my mind basically, then you go in and in, then you see Four Noble Truths. Anicca there, Anatta there, right? Dukkha there, inside the mind. But ordinary level, what we see Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta is our regular life, right? My beautiful China ware that my grandmother gave to me, so made in England, what is it, Sheffield or whatever, the big thing, and then broken, right? Then you see, don't get too attached to everything is impermanent, just let it go. Our grandmother would say, everything is subject to change, let it go, don't worry about it. We say that, right? That's a daily basis impermanence, knowledge of impermanence. Let it go. But ultimately, impermanence, knowledge of impermanence is impermanence of your own emotions that make you act in the world, react in the world, respond to the world, and all that is coming from the vipassana meditation, ultimately seeing the Dhammanupassana in the very middle circle, Dhammanupassana. Okay, now before we finish, one more last thing to remember. Now we all need panya, there's no question. If you don't have the eye of wisdom, we constantly make mistakes and get into trouble and get so devastated in our life, miserable in our life. Either Leslie or me or Eric or Beeling, no matter who you are, if you don't have the eye of wisdom, or if you don't use the eye of wisdom that you still already have, we are bound to suffer. There's no question. Majority of the people in the world are not capable or not instructed properly to use the eye of wisdom. Therefore, a lot of people who are not exposed to Dharma are so miserable. Although we see them as driving nice cars, living in beautiful homes, from outside, the grass in the other side is always green, right? So we look at them, wow, so the beautiful life, so much money, so much, property and all this lavish life and all that. But actually, the quality of comfort, quality of sukha, what is this, how do you translate sukha? Huh? Happiness. Yeah, we call it happiness. Quality of happiness is pretty poor. Right? Why? Because they don't use their eye of wisdom in their lives, no matter how rich they are. See? And we don't have that much money in the bank, but we are happier because we are capable of using whatever the little wisdom that we have. And when we come to Dhamma talk, why did you come to Dhamma talk? You got something. Wisdom. You got wisdom. That wisdom is called Suttamaya Panya. All these people who constantly come to Dhamma talk at least learn something from the Dharma speaker if the Dhamma talk was good or bad. Because this person speaks some Dharma and then in the audience somebody picks something, right? So when you come to Dhamma talk, to listen to Dhamma talk, or read a good book on Dhamma, what do you get? You get wisdom. But that's not the ultimate wisdom. 25% of the wisdom, I would guess, can be cultivated by coming to the Dhamma talks. So today, if you really paid attention to, yes, Bhante, what the Buddha said was right. There's everything that we see is subject to change. And I cannot rely on any of these things for my satisfaction. That's the idea. I cannot rely on my husband or my wife or my children for my safety and my satisfaction. Right? Because they are going to change. Then you begin to hear that. That is Suttamaya Panya. Suttamaya Panya means wisdom that you listening to the Dharma or reading a book on Dharma. That is why you should bring your children, like you did, to the Dhamma talks, because they could be wiser. At least by Suttamaya Panya. Suttamaya Panya, by learning Dhamma. Maya means made of. Made of learning. Made of hearing. Suttamaya Panya. What is the next Panya? Anybody know? Chintamaya Panya. Chintamaya Panya means you go home and think about this. Or you have a free time and you still remember the Dhamma talk. Buddha has said this thing in Dhammapada, this thing in Anguttara Nikaya. Second Dhamma talk was about Anatta Lakkana Sutta by the Buddha. You think about these things and you contemplate. Logically you begin to see, wow, everything is unreliable. Everything unreliable causes suffering. You are a realtor, is telling you that you will see him at 3:15 in the evening, and if this guy is unreliable, you are all, had a half day off, just to see this person, and if he's unreliable, then you are waiting for this person, and you get so disturbed and unhappy and frustrated because your whole day is wasted. Everything is like that. Okay? Even the children or family, sometimes the children are so wonderful because they all get good grades and they are all nice and right. Parents, they love the parents and always love the grandparents. When your kids love the grandparents, you are happy, right? With your mom and dad, they are loving. So things are going like that, but that can be changed. It can be changed. Due to certain conditions, it can be changed. So, now what are we talking about? Chintame Panya. Chintame Panya means contemplate logically and you think hard and look at the world. Yes, Dhamma is true. Dhamma is so true. Buddha is so true. I can see what he said. I know for myself that everything is impermanent. I can see for myself everything is dukkha, unreliable. Everything is no self. I cannot personalize anything. All what I do is I think that this is my child. I hold on to my child or my wife, I personalize, but technically I know this is not part of you. They came from somewhere and they are going somewhere else, Anunyato, ito, aha, or something like that. No? Uninvited, he came to my life. Your daughter, your wife is also most of the time uninvited, came to your life. And without any request, without any goodbye, my child left. Once the child, when your family member dies, that's how you should think. He came to my life, and meanwhile, you lost your best friend. I didn't invite him to come to my life. It happened. By causes and conditions came together, right? And he became my best friend. And now he got mad at me, and he said, I will never talk to you again, and left. See, it can happen, right? So, you see, for yourself, you're thinking now, thinking hard. When you think hard, if you're a smart person, logically, you can see what the Buddha said was right. Because Buddha's teaching, you are not required to logically accept. But everything what the Buddha said is logically accurate. If the logic is right. But Buddha said, don't believe in logic because logic can be bad logic. Bad logic could lead you to wrong decision. Only 1 out of 4 times logic is useful, Buddha said. You are thinking logically, but only 1 out of 4 times logic is good. But all the other 3 times logic is bad. So logical assumption is not always reliable and accurate. That's Buddha has said it. We can see when we have extra time, we can see what it means, But always Buddha used that accurate type of logic when you're understanding things in the world logically. What is the way to understand things besides logically? What is how do we really understand the world?
Emotion.
Huh?
Emotion involved in your visualization. Your emotion.
That is correct, but not emotion. It's a direct knowledge without emotion. If you put your emotion, then you become biased. If you cut down all your emotions and look at it as it is, then called direct knowledge. Another word for direct knowledge? Wisdom, panya. Panya. Panya has no emotional involvement. You see as they really are, you see as they come to be. All these pieces were coming from one, some parts are coming from Penang, some other parts of this table are coming from Malacca, and then some, you see all these are coming and meeting in KL somewhere, and then some person take these tools and put this together, and you can see this coming together, right? And you know that this table is composed of many pieces because you have seen it. Anything that is made of these nails 10, 15 years from now get corroded and maybe get loose, and all these pieces could fall apart in a matter of time. It doesn't matter, it doesn't mean it's always 2 years or 3 years, but at some point, due to time, it changes. And if it is changing, going to be falling apart in 10 years from now, this table, the wise person know that to fall apart in 10 years from now, this must be slowly falling apart now. Wise person can see, the logical person can see, and that is constantly falling apart, constantly changing. That's what constantly means, no? Okay, so Sutame Panya, Chintame Panya. Sutame means by listening to Dhamma, you go home and you are already smart, means wise, and you make less mistakes. Just because you listen to Dhamma, you read Dhamma books. The second part, you become smarter and wiser because you constantly, seriously think about it. When the Buddha before and become enlightened, he looked at life so amazingly logically. You know, he look at life, and in the sutras you can see, when I was a young man, I looked closely at my life, and then I saw this. And then therefore I made this decision based on that. It's logical thinking that time, because he didn't practice it. He has not practiced by that time. Right? So that is Chintame Panya. What is the last one is called? Sutame Panya. Chinta means thinking and contemplating about these subjects. Wise people, philosophically thinking is also correct, acceptable. But philosophy is not. But logical thinking. You can see Dharma that way. And then last one is called Bhavaname Panya. Maya means made of. Wisdom made of direct knowledge. Your wisdom came out of direct knowledge, is the solid wisdom. But when you hear the Dhamma and learn something, and then some other teacher come and say something different from what you heard from the first teacher, then you got confused and you got distorted. And you forget that original teaching, and now you are following different teaching. Right? That Sutame Panya, the wisdom that you generate through learning can be fluctuated, you know. But solid wisdom that you gain through direct knowledge, practice means practice of what? Eightfold Path. Practice of Eightfold Path make you a wiser and wiser person. Once you practice to the fullest, then you become fully enlightened. Atha nibbindati dukkhe. At that time, nibbindati means also attain nirvana. Completely disassociate from all these things that you are attached to. You are living in the world, but you are not part of the world. No, of the world. Not in the world, like in the world, but not of the world, remember? That same thing. So, nimbindati dukke esa maggo visuddhya, that is the direct path to complete purification of your mind. At that time, this where we are going, all of us are going there. By coming to this kind of Dhamma talks, you are generating interest in that goal, so you are doing little things here and there. You know, you want to write your thesis in English, and then this young boy, girl, go to English tuition here and there, you know, and knowing that one day I'm going to write my thesis in English and go to Australia or England or America or something like that. This person is planning. So that's us. We come to Dhamma talks, we try not to miss Dhamma talks as much as possible, and even the Dhamma talk is not very interesting, you try to pay attention and learn something. That is because we have the potential to get there one day, and that's where we are heading. And may you all ultimately be able to see the impermanence, suffering, and non-self, and finally attain Nibbana. With these thoughts in my mind, I complete the Dhamma talk exactly 9:30 now.
Just say different things, huh?
Yeah.
Right? And then unfortunately, some people dominate, huh?
Yeah.
In this earth, huh? Dominate their own program.
Yeah.
If you don't follow their program, follow your Bhante program, right? Or Buddha program, because they dominate the world, right? They can cause punishment and more suffering if you don't follow their way. See?
Right.
So how will you cope with that if you don't? For example, right? You are saying, see what they are, so you don't follow their rules or their program, then they will punish you, they will deprive you from their program and make you a poor man, put you in jail, put you in jail.
Yeah.
Then how would you say
In the history, that is what you call religion. Religions are always dogmas. When you are following a religion, there is no way that you can escape from all this what you are saying, segregation and punishment and all that, you know, and ill treatment. If you don't follow my religion, I will do this. This is what you're going to get. Yeah, and that is religion. Dhamma is totally different. So, Dhamma has no political agenda. Religion is a political organization. Always, no matter what the religion is, it's a political organization. We want political organization means if it's a Democrat or if it's a Republicans, we want to make our group bigger. They want to make their group bigger, right? And that is why we give punishment. You know, try to punish. You don't get jobs, right? Jobs if you don't follow our party. If you follow our party, you get all the good things. You get jobs, and you get your children get good scholarships, and all these things. So that's the same thing in religion also. Religion is a political organization. You can see what I am saying, but I don't want to explain too much. But you have to see. But Dhamma is totally different. Even Buddhism, if it is handled incorrectly, Buddha said, if you hold the snake from the tail, what happened? The tail would come and bite you, right? Then Buddha says, if you really want to handle a snake, you have a V shape instrument and put into the right neck of the snake and hold it from there, and then you take the venom or whatever for your lab, make medicine or something, throw that guy away, right? Buddha says you handle my teaching just like you handle a snake. If you take it to your head, my teaching is, you like my teaching because you logically think, oh, Buddha's teaching is so accurate, it's so beautiful, and there's nothing better than this, and this is the only religion, that all the others are not good. If I handle correctly Buddhism, that's how I think. Buddhism is the best religion in the world, everything else is not good, and you are not Buddhist, and you are nothing. If I think like that, wrongly handle snake. Buddhism is taken wrong, in the wrong place. Buddha said, you hold my teaching from the neck. Who would say? Buddha said it. Take my teaching from the neck and get the essence, throw it away. Don't hold on to it. Even my teaching, don't hold on to it. If you hold on to it, that means this is me, that is you. You don't follow me, I am following this, and you are not part of me. You are not belong to me. My compassion is not for you. Sometimes we say that, sometimes we say they are so wild, and we want to completely wash away all these people. But that's the wrong way to talk about people, human beings, right? We have to be compassionate towards those people. So you're right. But don't think that's a religion. If anybody come and push you anything, right, that is selling something. Push you in, that's what we do. Advertising, we constantly push it to you, right? Make you buy. That's selling. But Dharma is not for sale. Dharma is something that is easily available, freely available for anywhere. You go to the vihara and you see Dharma is available freely, right? Not pushed. If you like it, take it. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. That's what our attitude is, right? Dharma is different. Religion is different. Okay. Dharma is something that you can see for yourself. When the teachers come and tell you, and then you go home and yes, maybe he's somewhat right. And then you keep thinking, if the teacher taught the Dharma, Dharma cannot be wrong, because Dharma means the way things are. That's the way it is. Sun is rising next morning, it's going to be like that.